The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
A Jets insider said he's concerned about Jets quarterback Geno Smith. How concerned should we be about the Jets QB1? We'll talk about that and much more. It's game day eve, baby. Nick Faria from Sports Illustrated is going to join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go!
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show presented by PrizePicks. If you want to join us on October 25th for the Dolphins at Jets matchup, it's our Asmaniac home game meetup. Make sure you lock in your spot. As of this morning, just 7 tickets remain in the Asmaniac section 146. It's first come, first serve for Patreon users. Go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Tickets are $150 per ticket, and it includes a post-game field pass. You'll join us on the field after the game. Great seats in section 146. We'll have info on a tailgate in lot L5 before the game in the coming weeks. It's open for everyone, but specifically for people who want to join us at this game in the same section with the Asmaniacs. Make sure you lock in your spot, because I suspect by the end of the weekend, we will sell those final 7. And we will be all set for those of you who purchased your tickets. Right now, let's say hello to our guy, Nick Faria, covers the Jets for Sports Illustrated and will be in Nashville for week 1 of the season. And Nick's going to be stopping by our Barstool Nashville event the Saturday, the day before the game on Sunday. What's up, Nick?
How's everything going? Good, exciting time. Yes, I'm very, very pleased, very excited to go to Nashville. First time I'll ever be there, so it's gonna be a great time.
Well, it's going to be great to see you down there, and looking forward to seeing you and all the Jet fans. We still got 24 days until week 1 for those of you keeping track, and the Jets will play a game tomorrow night. Nick, what are your thoughts on whether or not we see Geno Smith against the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one?
I would be surprised if we do. I think the Jets, if there's one consistent theme that they've had throughout this training camp, it's overcautious. Anytime a player is banged up, anytime a player isn't feeling right, they are sitting them out, and they're making sure that they are 100% ready to go for week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. That's the most important thing. While it would probably make more sense, it would probably be great for Jets fans to see Geno Smith work with the ones, work with the starters in a game setting. When you compare it to the possibility of him not being at 100% for that opening night game, it's just not worth it. So I would expect him to sit. I would be very surprised if he plays. If he plays, and that means the doctors have approved, that means the ankle looks great, there's no swelling whatsoever, I just don't want to risk it at this point in the middle of August.
So if he doesn't play, you think he's just not going to play at all in the preseason? Would he play in that final game?
I think it's a safe bet that he won't play in the preseason. That third preseason game is becoming more and more like the fourth preseason game when they only had 4, where it's just the bottom of the roster guys trying to make a name for themselves. If he doesn't play on Friday, I would be shocked if he plays against the Giants next week.
I don't know if I love that. I feel like he needs reps. It's a new offense, new offensive coordinator, just a new environment for him. I don't like the idea of Geno Smith coming off an awful season with the Raiders, not getting any reps in the preseason before week 1.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but then my response would be, would you rather him at 80% go on the football field and potentially get hurt again? I mean, there's always that possibility that happens. If he's not 100%, I want to make sure he's ready to go by the start of the regular season. I would sacrifice the reps that he would get in the game setting in the preseason for health going into week 1.
So I agree. My thing would be, why not just have him play in that third preseason game with the Jets starters? Like, what's the harm in giving him a drive in that last game? Okay, the Giants aren't going to play any of their starters potentially, but like, why does that matter? The Jets faced the Bucs and they weren't playing any of their guys, and the Jets played their starting offense and defense. I just think this team, they need reps, and Aaron Glenn said that he wanted his starters to get between 25 and 30 reps. Geno would have 0 in this scenario. That concerns me, because getting off to a good start, as everyone's well aware, is so important for the Jets.
The last thing they need, though, is if let's say, based on that idea, they play the starters in the final preseason game and the Giants are playing bottom of the roster guys. Those bottom of the roster guys are looking for any opportunity to make a name for themselves, any big play. They are going to be overly aggressive. And that's not something I want to put my starters through, where, God forbid, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but God forbid an over-aggressive player rolls in to get Geno Smith's knee. God forbid an over-aggressive player goes high on him just to show that he can be a physical player. I don't want to put my players, my starting players, through that compared to other guys that are going to be really desperate to try to make a 53-man roster. It's just not worth it in the final preseason game. And again, if he's 100%, he'll play on Friday. But I just don't think he is. And the way Aaron Glenn has talked about, it doesn't sound like he is. And I just don't think it's going to be worth it to throw these guys out there against that kind of personnel at this point in the preseason.
Let's play you some comments that Connor Hughes of SNY made yesterday. He says he's concerned about Geno Smith. We'll play it and then get your thoughts, because you've been at all these practices as well.
Number one, Geno Smith. Getting a little concerned about him. I know he's dealing with the ankle issue, and sure, that might be leading to some of the accuracy problems that we've seen, but there's been a more passive approach to his game over the last couple of weeks that I didn't necessarily expect, because the one thing that we talked about, the benefit of having Geno Smith, is he's going to play that effort ball. And what I mean by that is that he's going to take shots. He's going to give his guys chances to make big plays, and that's going to be a welcomed addition for a Jets offense that has not done that with their last two quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Unfortunately, the checkdowns are back. The not taking chances is back. The quick, just get the ball out of my hands to my running back in the flat has been a prominent aspect of the Jets offense, which, you know, if you're not going to get the aggressive Geno, I don't necessarily know if you want that passive Geno.
What do you make of those comments there? Has Geno Smith been as passive as Connor's describing it?
No, I would disagree. I think what we're seeing is essentially the clear Geno Smith. This is who he is. He's going to have good days. He's going to have bad days. I think he's had just as many good days as he's had bad days. But, you know, we mentioned yesterday's practice. He didn't have a good practice. Well, the day before on Tuesday, he was really good. He had a couple of really good deep shots. He was threading the needle on a couple of passes. He made a couple of really good throws over the middle of the field to Garrett Wilson and Adonai Mitchell. You know, if we're going to be flip-flopping after every practice, he has a good practice. Oh, okay, this offense can look really good. And then he has a bad practice. Oh, my God, I'm really concerned about Geno Smith. I think we're just going to drive ourselves insane. I think we have to acknowledge the fact, is he a top 15, 16 quarterback? Of course not. He's a below-average guy. He's a significant upgrade over Justin Fields and the quarterback room they had last year, but that's not saying much. We're talking about arguably the worst quarterback in recent NFL history compared to a guy that has had some good years and some really, really bad years. So you're going to live by Geno. You're going to die by Geno this year. It's just a matter of fact. If he looks good in some games, he's also going to look bad in other games. It's just a matter of understanding what you have at the quarterback position, and it's not a guy who's going to go into, God forbid, Foxborough and outduel Drake May or outduel Josh Allen in Buffalo. He's a guy that's going to throw a lot of picks. He's going to throw some touchdown passes. He's going to take his shots. Some days it's going to work. Other days it's not. It's just a matter of this is who he is now, and to think he's going to be otherwise, I think we're just fooling ourselves at this point.
Has Geno been timid at practice, as Connor described it, not taking chances downfield?
I would disagree immensely on that. I think what he's doing, he's reading the opposing defense. He's taking his shots when it's there. He's been aggressive. Sometimes he's been ultra-aggressive like I'm talking about. But it's nothing different than we've seen from Geno over the last few years. This is who he is. He's going to take some shots. He's going to try to get the offense down the field. I mentioned it on Tuesday. He was pushing the ball down the field. That happened. On Wednesday, maybe he wasn't. But it's this back and forth that's going to drive us insane because he's just a back and forth kind of player. He's not an ultra consistent guy, and you're just going to have to live with that in 2026.
It just feels like he got off to such a good start, and we were excited, and we haven't had that same, Geno Smith dominating practice reports that we were getting at the beginning.
No, but I also think that's a testament to the defense as well, because you never want to have the offense just completely dominating training camp. I think this has been a very competitive training camp for both sides. Some days the defense wins out. The secondary looks really good. A good example is Brandon Stevens. Stevens made a couple of really good plays in Tuesday's practice against Garrett Wilson, and he got burned on a couple of others. It's just the matter of what we're dealing with here. We're not talking about a team that's a top 10 unit in football. We're talking about an improving roster, an improving organization. So if we're expecting this team to be better than last season, you don't want Geno Smith dominating every single practice. You want the defense to be more competitive, and they've done that over the last several weeks. That doesn't necessarily mean that the offense has been terrible. They've won some days. They've actually looked really good. It's just a matter of what are you looking for at this point in training camp? Do you want only good news, or do you want the reality that it's not as bad or as good as people want it to be?
How would you compare this training camp to what you watched last year in Glenn's first season?
Oh, my, it's night and day. Guys, they couldn't throw the ball. They could not throw the ball last season. It was at this point in camp, I believe, Jake, where I talked to you and I was like, I thought talent-wise, maybe 7 wins. It's got to be lower. It's got to be lower because they couldn't throw the football. You had no one outside of Garrett Wilson you could trust as a receiver. The offensive line was good. They were able to run the football effectively, but just the secondary was dominating every single day at practice. It's night and day compared to what we've seen. And again, let's judge that accordingly, right? Okay, so we're seeing a significant improvement from the passing offense, but will that mean they're a top 15, 16 unit in 2026? No, but it's going to be improved from last year, and you want to see that improvement, and hopefully the talent alone will be able to get you a few more wins than they were last year because they were unplayable at this point in the season.
What are your thoughts on the Breece Hall injury?
Again, it's overly cautious. 2 weeks, you can deal with that. He'll be ready for the start of week 1. Anything more, you start getting a little dicey. Everything that Aaron Glenn has said points to him being ready for week 1, trying to make sure that he'll be 100% for that game. I like the depth at running back that they have. They'll be able to continue to run the football effectively, especially with this offensive line looking as good as they have throughout training camp. But Breece Hall is the engine here, so they need him on the field. And to this point, I think the Jets are smart to keep him out until week 1.
The other injuries, D'Angelo Pons, when do we see him?
That's a great question. We're still trying to figure that out. And it's part of the frustration, I think, for some fans where you haven't seen Sadiq, you haven't seen Pons. Omar Cooper has looked solid. Not nothing earth-shattering, but just a solid quality wide receiver in his first training camp. But you want to see, obviously, more from the high picks, and you just haven't been able to do so outside of David Bailey. So I think it's just a matter of being patient. I think it's very, very clear he will not have a significant role on this team early in the season, but kind of like Mason Taylor last year where he had his ankle injury, he had all these injury problems in camp, and they gradually improved his roster, his standing within the offense within the later portion of the season. I think you could be looking at the same case for D'Angelo Pons as well.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Nick Faria is our guest. We're talking all things New York Jets. I have an outstanding raffle prize today. I won a bid for a signed Chad Pennington alternate logo helmet. The NY, that was very popular in the 2000s when Chad played. Chad and his awesome signature on this Jets helmet. That is the prize on our shows today. Gift the membership or send in a super chat, $10 or more to purchase raffle entries. We get 20 names on the wheel. We will spin the Wheel of Champions. When you enter, you're also in the weekly raffle. This Sunday, we raffle away another signed helmet by a Jet QB, signed Ken O'Brien helmet, a signed Darrelle Revis football, and our top prize, a lot of Pennington this week, baby, a full-size, that's right, full-size Chad Pennington helmet. So if you're a Chad fan like myself, you got potentially 2 chances to win a signed item by number 10 on the field and number 1 in our hearts. Nick, let's talk about this game tomorrow night. We got through the Geno storyline. You don't think he's going to play, so that means Klubnik's going to start. Can we see the guy throw more than 7 pass attempts? What do you expect to see from Cade Klubnik?
We're going to get a lot more reps from Cade Klubnik on Friday. Let's just put it that way. I think the quote-unquote controversy surrounding the limited reps, I don't think the Jets are going to go through that again. They need to see more of him if they really believe he's going to be the backup quarterback to Geno Smith this year. And again, he's had a very good camp when you compare it to a 4th-round rookie coming out of Clemson. I've been very impressed with him based on that context, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to play their full starters on defense, but if they do, it will be a great test to see where exactly Klubnik is at in his development.
I mean, how many drives do you think he'll get then?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a half. I think
that's what it should have been on Friday last week.
I think it should be a half. Developing this quarterback, seeing what you have, and then you give Zappe the 3rd and Brady Cook the 4th. I think, as of right now, you ask most people that have been at practice if they were to give a projection of who's going to make the 53-man roster from a starting quarterback perspective, I think most would only carry 2 guys, Geno and Cade Klubnik. I don't think Zappe or Brady Cook have done enough in camp and have looked as impressive as either the starter or the backup. So I think just giving those guys a quarter makes a lot of sense and allow Cade to really develop, give him the opportunity to make some mistakes, try some things down the field, and see what that can look like.
I hope he gets the entire half because I just don't see the point in
any
Zappe, any Cook.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to throw the starters for a half. You can throw Garrett Wilson and Membu and all these guys for a couple of series.
Right.
And then just have the immediate backups come in. I really liked last week. You look at that Tampa game, the backup offensive line is in when Braylon Allen had the big touchdown run. And you saw the seal from Inez Cooper with Cade Klubnik obviously running the offense. I want to see more of that where you see some of these younger guys with Cade kind of developing together and growing together and taking those lumps as well. So I think it would be imperative for this team to play Cade Klubnik as much as they possibly can, and I think a half is a pretty safe bet.
Rich Samini said on our Jets Collective this week that it's Cade's job. This competition is over. Do you agree it's Cade Klubnik as the backup?
I think it's been over for quite some time now. They haven't really we can't comment on on certain who's taking reps with which group. That's a Jets media policy. But it's very, very clear. Cade Klubnik is the backup, and I think the better he gets, the more obvious it is that the Jets are not going to bring in a veteran quarterback behind Geno Smith. They're going to allow Cade Klubnik to be the backup and go from there.
Is that smart, or should they bring in a quarterback? Now, it's also about, do you carry 3 quarterbacks then on your 53-man roster?
Yeah, and I don't think they will. I think based on where everything is right now, I think they really like Jelani Woods. They really like Andrew Beck. And I think if you're going to bring in a 3rd quarterback, that means you have to choose between one of them. You're not going to keep 8 offensive linemen. I think they have to keep 9. So based on the math, if you're keeping 24, 25 offensive players, you're going to need to decide if you want to keep a 3rd quarterback or your fullback and 4th tight end. But again, the way that I see things, and I've gone into this debate with a bunch of Jets reporters at practice as well. If Geno Smith goes down, let's say, in this hypothetical, the Jets bring in Andy Dalton. Dalton gets cut by Philadelphia. The Jets bring him in as the backup. So now Dalton is the backup to Geno Smith starting week 1. Let's say Geno Smith goes down early in the season. Is the season saved by Andy Dalton? Of course not. It's not. It's just not, guys. He's not the quarterback he was early on in his Cincinnati days. I would rather, if Geno's going to get hurt, to just throw in the rookie and see what he can do.
But you're not Aaron Glenn, who's trying to save his job.
Which is the other part of that, and that's also part of the discussion. But if you believe in Cade Klubnik so much that he's essentially won the backup quarterback job and has earned it as well, I think you want to give him that opportunity, because the flip side of that is Cade actually looks really good, and all of a sudden the quarterback situation changes completely. let's say he actually looks really damn good, like a starting caliber player. You don't have to force yourself into a quarterback you aren't in love with in the 2027 draft. That's the dream scenario for the Jets, where a 4th-round pick suddenly becomes the face of the franchise. Not saying it's going to happen. It's the dream scenario. But if you're New York right now and you're debating between bringing in a veteran quarterback to win 1 or 2 games and developing a young quarterback, a rookie that you have on the roster that you're high on right now, if I was making the decision, I would take the young guy.
A lot of us keep mentioning Andy Dalton because of the Frank Reich connection, and Philly has 4 quarterbacks. You obviously are well aware of the Eagles situation there. What is their deal with the 4 quarterbacks? Like, how are they going to play it?
Yeah, one's going to get cut. That's pretty clear. They've got Cole Payton, who's a developmental guy. I would assume he's going to be that 3rd quarterback, never seeing the field this year kind of player. And the backup battle is between Tanner McKee and Andy Dalton. And I know for a fact that McKee started to jump a step or 2 ahead of Dalton, in my opinion, based on everything that I'm hearing. We'll see what happens in the joint practice today against New England and in the preseason game as well. But they're not keeping 4 quarterbacks. They're going to cut one of them. And the fact that Dalton has that relationship with Frank Reich is certainly part of it. You also could look at other teams around the league. Are the Steelers going to keep 4 quarterbacks? Would Mason Rudolph get cut? Again, there's a lot of different avenues the Jets can go for the backup quarterback position, but it also comes down to how good they think Cade Klubnik can be in a potential starting role. And this is where this kind of situation against Pittsburgh this week, if Geno Smith doesn't go, could be very important for him to show that he can handle starting duties should something happen to Geno Smith. It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see it.
So, as a fan, I'm fine with Klubnik being the backup because I don't think this team is going to be very good even with Geno. So I might as well just see what we have with Klubnik. If I'm Aaron Glenn, though, I want a veteran. Even if I like Cade in practice and in the preseason, it's a different animal when the games actually matter. And let's say Geno's not out for the year, but he rolls his ankle and has to miss a couple weeks, and it's still earlier enough in the year where maybe the Jets are 2-2 at this point.
And that game could mean a lot. I totally get it. And that's also part of the discussion that the Jets will have to have. But I will say, and again, you look at 4th-round quarterbacks or rookie quarterbacks that weren't expected to start at all, but they were kind of thrust into the opportunity, but they were really liked by the team, so another veteran wasn't brought in. One perfect example is obviously Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Different situation. The Cowboys had an excellent running game. The offensive line was really good. All those things have to be taken into account. The Prescott was never expected to be the starter week 1 for the Dallas Cowboys in his rookie season. They were expecting Tony Romo to be the guy, and without any issue. He has his back injury, and the course of history for Dallas gets changed forever. You look at the Washington Commanders. They draft Kirk Cousins behind RG3. No one expects him to be the guy, and he ends up having an excellent career, far better than RG3 has ever had. Ben Roethlisberger, 1st-round pick, so obviously semantics are a little different, but he was never expected to play week 1 or early in his career for the Steelers. It was Tommy Maddox's job. An injury happens to Tommy Maddox, Big Ben takes over, and the course of the Steelers' history gets changed. I'm not arguing with you saying that the Jets should be, if they're trying to save Glenn's job, a veteran would probably be better for a start or 2. But for the trajectory of this organization, and that's what this team should be thinking of more than anything else, it's not about saving a person's job, it's about doing the right thing for the organization, then it makes sense to have Cade Klubnik be the backup quarterback throughout the year. Even if something happens to Geno, play the rookie and see what happens. Because there is a chance, small as it is, that he could be the guy that ends up playing a lot better than people expect.
Agreed, but this is where the who's in charge of the Jets matters the most, because Muji might say, I want to get a look at Klubnik. Glenn might say, I need someone that I can trust. Your job's not on the line. Mine is.
But maybe he trusts Cade Klubnik. Maybe he sits there and says, I've seen him in practice. I see what he can do. I think he can run the offense.
He also trusted Justin Fields. He told us Brady Cook was a player in this league.
Listen, we're not arguing about if it's the right call or not. I'm just saying.
What would you do if you're Aaron Glenn? What would you do?
That's a good question. I'm looking at it from an executive standpoint. Do the best thing for the organization, even if that means you have to sacrifice a win or two. If that means you can see what Cade Klubnik is, so be it. Because the off chance, like I said, is that he could be a really good player. On Glenn's side, I think fortune favors the bold. I think if I really liked this quarterback, and again, he was part of the drafting process that brought him into New York. If I think so highly of this kid that I want him to be the immediate backup right now, and I'm willing to give him those starts, if my job's done, my job's done. But there's also a chance that it could save my job too. Let's see what happens.
It's just hard for me to believe. But I guess you know what? It probably should be believable because, again, anytime this head coach has opened his mouth about quarterbacks, it's come back to bite him, and it's looked poorly. So, if he banks on Klubnik and it doesn't work, there should not be, the Glenn apologist coming out saying, well, they had a rookie starting. What did you expect? Because this would be by choice by the Jets going into the year.
I can completely agree, and I think that would be the smart or not, if it works out or not, it will
because
be.
Because Klubnik's going to play. Like, this is the Jets. Every year there's at least two quarterbacks that have to start games. Like, this is what happens.
Except for the 1 year they had Rodgers for a full season.
Right, which is the most ironic season of all of them because the entire storyline for months going into the year is, can they keep Rodgers healthy? Will he stay healthy? He starts all 17 games, the only Jet quarterback to do that since Fitzpatrick in 2015 when it was still a 16-game season.
And they were such a terrible football team that entire year. It's just, look, what can go wrong will go wrong for the Jets. I get it. But in this case, I think, and let's also put it this way. They don't have to make a decision right now. No one has been cut. No veteran quarterback has been cut yet for a team to sort of swoop in and try to make a move. If Dalton is the one that gets cut in Philadelphia, the Jets, it would make a lot of sense for them to sign him. Perfectly fine. If Geno Smith goes down and they want to throw in Cade Klubnik, even with Andy Dalton on the team, that's also a possibility. It's a lot in wait and see right now to determine what this looks like for the Jets going forward. But it all comes down to Geno Smith's health. As long as he's healthy, he is going to be the starting quarterback, and nothing of that is going to change in 2026.
Hit the like button if you're joining us. Our guy Nick Faria from Sports Illustrated is the guest on the show. If you tuned in late, signed Chad Pennington. Helmet is the prize. Alternate logo on the helmet. It is really, really cool. So someone's going to win that on our show today. The first to enter was Ozzy Fullers. He gifted a channel membership. Ozzy, thank you as always for your support. The second person entered was Colin Wolford, and he gifted not one, not two. How about 5 channel memberships? Let's go. Appreciate you, Colin. This one is from Shake and Bake. Jake and Nick, I've seen a lot of TikTok football creators crap all over the Jets predicting 2 to 4 wins. Is that too dramatic, or what should be expected? Nick, go ahead.
I think more wins, absolutely. I think they've been a lot better than people want to give them credit for this training camp. We'll wait and see what that looks like come week 1. But this is not about talent on the roster anymore. They are talented enough to win 7, 8 games. The question is the coaching staff good enough? That's the big question. If Aaron Glenn has truly learned from his mistakes and Frank Reich's offensive scheme is really good and is modernized with everything that's gone on, and the defense plays a lot better, they're not making the same mistakes, then this team can win 7 and 8 games. But this all comes down to the coaching staff. It's no longer a talent issue anymore.
You should get a pretty good idea on what this team is after the first 4 games of the season.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it goes against everything that I've learned from talking to people around the league that say the first month of the year is the biggest question mark of flip a coin. These matchups are not the be-all, end-all.
Not for the Jets, though, because last year, the first month of the year, they were 0-4, and where did that get them? 0-7.
I totally get it. And maybe I'm talking about some of these middle of the pack.
In general, yes, not for a team that started 0-7 last year, whose head coach by every metric should have been one and done.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I want to sit here and say the first month doesn't matter because throughout you talk to any or professional guy in the NFL, they say the first month is the biggest waste of time because it's glorified preseason. Talk to any of them, they will say the exact same thing. But I agree. The fact that they started out as poorly as they did last year, the fact that Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat, I don't think he's going to get fired midway through the year. But Woody Johnson is looking for any reason to keep this guy around. He's looking for any reason to say, hey, we're building something here. And that has to start early in the season. I've mentioned before, I disagree that Tennessee's a must-win, but I say it's a can't-lose kind of game. You cannot lose that
same
game.
Thing. It's the same thing.
But it's different, though, because I don't want to sit here and say the season's
must-win, can't lose. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They lose that game. What's the Jets' record if they lose week 1? Convince me it's not 0-4.
But that's the thing. Like, I want to say they could beat Green Bay, but if they just lost to Tennessee, what's the hope there? Like, I get everything you're saying, Jake, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. We're just talking about, the first month of the year and everything like that. But they have to start off at the very least. They have to get a couple of wins early on. They have to show that they are playing a lot better than they were last year when they were uncompetitive in most of these games. So I get it. I don't disagree. But it's one of those things where I'm like, man, it just goes against everything everyone has talked about when it comes to early season football.
I get it, but not every team is the same because they started 0-7 last year. That happened.
Sure. And the Raiders won week 1 last season. Everyone was like, wow, maybe they're a little bit better, and then the doors fell off immediately after they were the worst team in football. So I get it. I get the argument.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Nick Faria. He covers the New York Jets for SI. Make sure you guys follow and read Nick's work. We're presented today by my friends at Brooklyn Bedding. Get yourself a brand new Brooklyn Bedding mattress like I did if you want to get some great sleep ahead of the upcoming football season. I need good sleep between the radio, between this show, the Jet stress, all of it, quality sleep, very important, which is why I'm so glad that I have an Aurora Lux cooling mattress with the medium firmness applied. Got the cloud pillow top, most popular option on the Brooklyn Bedding website. Get yours as well. Promo code Jake for 30% off every mattress and really every item they have store-wide. Take advantage of their summer sale going on right now. BrooklynBedding.com. Promo code Jake for 30% off site-wide. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria is our guest. More super chats here. Mickey says, I don't get how Muji gets a pass for back-to-back horrific QB rooms. Then we're going to let him draft a QB after thinking Geno and Fields are good.
That's never been – guys, you have to understand where the Jets are coming from in this rebuild. What quarterback is Darren Muji supposed to bring in at this point? Like, at what point last year, there are going to be people that say, oh, they should have kept Aaron Rodgers, or it should have been this, it should have been that. What quarterback should they have taken last offseason that would have been better? I don't like. We're talking about semantics here. This season, what quarterback wants to come to New York as a free agent or in a trade value that would be better than Geno Smith? There aren't any options right now. The Jets, I think, have actually been a lot smarter to understand that there is no clear-cut choice at quarterback right now. There's no great option for this team. So instead of throwing a bunch of money at the problem and saying, oh, maybe this guy will do it. Let's wait, be patient, let the draft come to us. Now they have 3 draft picks in the 2027 class, which is expected to be a much better quarterback class than the last 2. So this idea that Darren Muji has built horrific quarterback rooms, I think is completely overlooking the fact that there is no other option. There have been no options for Muji to be able to sit there and say, oh, okay, we've solved the problem here. You want to throw in multiple draft picks for a veteran guy like Baker Mayfield? You didn't have them last year. You have them this year, and you have the opportunity to be able to do so, but you didn't have that opportunity last year. So this notion that Muji has built these horrific quarterback rooms because he doesn't know how to evaluate the quarterback position, I think is just people being angry, people looking for reasons to be angry at the general manager. Muji's done a good job. He has a plan in place. The fact that there's been no available quarterback is not his fault. He's waiting for the opportunity to strike, and people should wait for that to happen.
I mean, the one thing I'll say, I agree with most of that. They had Aaron Rodgers, and they chose to go with Justin Fields.
And again, I'm not disagreeing with that. we can look back and say they should have kept Aaron Rodgers. But I don't think that was a Darren Muji decision. I think that was a decision that came from on high, that was agreed with Aaron Glenn. We can sit here and say, well, he's the general manager, so he had to make that call. That call was a unanimous call from the very beginning of the offseason. They did not want Aaron Rodgers back, so everything was based and predicated on that decision.
Here's the bottom line. I'm a Muji fan. He has not yet taken the big swing at quarterback that's coming. He will be judged based on what he does with the 2027 first round. Completely.
And again, that's all I'm saying. We have no idea. If he whiffs on the 2027 pick, then we can talk about his failings at the quarterback position. But we are not at the position to talk about Darren Muji being bad or necessarily a great GM yet until he makes that selection. He is built this roster and these resources around this upcoming decision. Any other call about him being good or bad beforehand is just people trying to make a name for themselves.
Shout out to Court Sports. Everyone go follow Court. She does great work. She became a channel member. So Court is in the Asmaniac raffle for a signed Chad Pennington helmet for one entry. Let's go.
Jetta, let's go.
Super Chats cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Candyman is here. He says, don't let go of the rope. We would never on this show.
Just don't let go of the rope.
You're in for two, Candyman. Thanks for supporting the show and helping me keep the lights on around this place. Pasquale is doing the same. He gifted a membership. He's in the raffle for one. Thank you, Pasquale. Good to see your name in the chat. We got a lot of our viewers who are here only for the season checking back in with the show. Viewership in August has been awesome. So thanks to everyone who's still tuned in and cares about a team that has, again, failed to make the playoffs longer than any team in professional sports. Jetaholic checks in. The game we're doing this year is Jets Dolphins. Can we stop by the tailgate? Also sick of some of the fans playing, wanting L's. Too early for that. Yes, Jetaholic. Make sure you stop by the tailgate for October 25th. That's the only regular season home game I'm going to. I'll be in Nashville for week 1, and I'll be at MetLife on October 25th. I think it's week 7 against the Dolphins. So hopefully I get a chance to see you. Come by L5. We're going to put tickets on sale for that in the coming weeks for the tailgate. So looking forward to that. Nick Faria is our guest. If you guys have questions, make sure you write it in. Super Chats will cut the line. JD wants to know if there's any updates on Isaiah Davis.
Nothing yet, and we're still waiting to hear back according to that. But this running back room right now is going to be led by Braylon Allen and the undrafted free agents, Scott and Trenum.
You think they add another running back?
No, I think they're going to be patient on both. They want to wait for Brees. They want to wait for Davis, and they'll make that call closer to week 1.
I would be concerned with Braylon Allen now. Like I wouldn't give him that many reps on Friday tomorrow.
No, I agree. And just let the undrafted guys make a name for themselves. I completely agree on that. And the focus really more is about the offensive line, making sure that they control the line of scrimmage than anything else. But I've had this conversation with people before about Braylon Allen where he had such great training camps. And he's not able to be as productive once the regular season games come in. And Isaiah Davis has been more dependable. So getting Davis back at 100% will be very, very important because he's been more efficient than Braylon Allen throughout his NFL career.
The other thing is, I don't want to see Kene and Nwanu run like a battering ram up the middle when he's made a class. Like, he's so valuable as a kick returner. That could be the difference in a game or two this year. I want to keep him in bubble wrap as well.
Yeah, but it's also trying to manage the specific players, right? Garrett Wilson's going to get some playing time this week, but how much playing time is it? How many balls do you want thrown his way in Pittsburgh? Maybe 1, possibly 2, but you don't want him catching 4 or 5 passes. Maybe 1 pass and then get the hell out of there and sit on the sideline up until week 1. So it's just balancing the ideas of wanting to see your players perform well, showing some spurts, but then also making sure that they stay healthy as well.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton wants to know that, let me just read his comment here because it then morphs into a question. He goes, I think the coach is terrible. Talent should be better, but how much better does Glenn cap their ceiling?
That's the big question, and that is the demarcation question for the Jets in 2026. If Aaron Glenn is going to improve, how much does that improvement look like? Is that an extra win? Is it the in-game decisions that look better? Is it the defensive play calls that look better? All these things are going to be broken down. We as fans, we as analysts, we as journalists, we cannot definitively say yes or no, he's going to cap this team from the beginning. We expect certain things based on what we saw in last year, but we have no idea what it's going to look like week one. We have no idea what it's going to look like beyond throughout the 2026 season. So I'm not going to give a definitive statement on any of that, but I agree. This is all going to come down to coaching. The talent is better. On paper, they should be a lot better and should be able to compete with some of these better teams. But what does that look like if the coaching staff holds them back? It's the big question on everyone's mind.
Let's get to some of your calls. If you want in, now is a great time to call into the show and be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to John J. Williams. Sent me a Zelle to AsmanJake@gmail. Purchased 2 raffle tickets. So, John J., you're in. Let's go.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Oh, they're getting crazy, all right. There's no doubt about that. I mean, look at Nick Faria. He's out of his mind. He's coming to Nashville with us now for week 1, which is going to be outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit some of your calls. In the leadoff spot today is the Rooster.
How we doing, gentlemen? Good morning, Nick.
How's everything going?
Nick, I feel like you must hate Cade Klubnik. Let me tell you why. How do you want to throw a 4th-round draft pick in week 1 on the road at Tennessee? What are you, crazy? We've seen the story with the Jets. I don't care what he did versus Tampa Bay backups. I don't care about the touchdowns he's throwing in practice. I love Cade Klubnik more than you. I loved him when he was picked. I don't want to rush him week 1. I don't care what he's done so far. I don't want to ruin this guy. We always call for that guy. And then after we called for Brady Cook, after one series we got sick. We don't want to ruin Cade Klubnik. Get Andy Dalton in here. Be a mature franchise. Have Geno, have Dalton, have Klubnik. And boy, if the Jets are out of it by week 13, give me Cade Klubnik. But let him sit a little. You gave 4 instances of Roethlisberger and Dak. What about the 5,000 that don't work? So no, I don't want Cade Klubnik week 1. I don't care what he's done in practice, Nick. Not at all. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, must win, and whatever you said is the same thing. And I am with Jake here. This franchise, and I've been a fan a long time, cannot go out week 1 and shit the bed. Because we know what happens. It starts spiraling, and it gets bad quickly here. They need something to build on because there is a manageable schedule there with the Raiders, with the Browns, with the Dolphins. Now, with this Geno Smith thing, if he is okay to practice, get him in that game for a little on Friday night. What are we doing here? If you're not okay to practice, don't play. If you can't play, don't practice. What are we doing? Aaron Glenn is just clueless, okay? It's just clueless. Nick, I'll give you a few more minutes before I go on for my next complaint after. But I love you anyway. I love the work you do.
My big question to this is, first off, I'm not saying Cade Klubnik is going to start week 1 at all. You expect Geno Smith to go in, but you're saying get Andy Dalton in here. There's no possible way Andy Dalton can get on the Jets right now unless via trade. You got to wait.
Andy Dalton. Give me any veteran backup that's not Brady Zappi. Let me say it that way.
Well, you want someone that has the understanding of Frank Reich's offensive system. That's the other part of this, because you're not going to have a full month to ramp up this veteran.
Hey, come on,
have a week,
dude,
maybe
these
2.
are veteran quarterbacks. This offense isn't Ben Johnson's calculus offense. Come on. Well, that's why I agree. We're giving
Mucci. But Rooster, you're saying the expectation of what you believe.
Mucci.
This is what an NFL team operates. There are different calls, there's different checks.
Okay, and I agree, and I love Darren Mucci. He has not handled the quarterback room correctly. Justin Fields was a disaster, whatever it was. And yes, I didn't want to spend big money on a quarterback, but bring in 2 veterans this year. Don't give me Brady Zappi. Come on.
The preseason's not over, my God. That's
okay, but you're telling me, though, I can't ramp a quarterback up, so why can't I have 2 quarterbacks beforehand?
What I'm saying is, if they really like Cade Klubnik, and they believe that he can be the quarterback too, you're going to ramp up Dalton or some other guy, and then you're going to throw him out there in case something happens to Geno. The whole point is, Klubnik or this backup are not going to see the field at all. That's the expectation.
Well, hopefully, but right now we're right. Hopefully,
you're looking at it. You're looking at a glass half empty kind of approach. I don't think that's really necessary when the Titans pass rush, especially the edge rushers, and with this offensive line as good as it's expected to be, should be able to protect Geno Smith pretty well this year.
Do you think Geno's playing Friday night?
No, I don't. But again, if he's not healthy, then why are you throwing him in?
Why is he practicing?
Because you need the reps.
But is he healthy or not healthy?
He's also not a full participant in practice. That's the other part of this. People went batshit crazy when they found out Cade Klubnik was throwing to Garrett Wilson yesterday. Guys, that doesn't mean Cade Klubnik is running with the ones. It just means that you want to make sure that Geno's 100%.
Well, he was running with the ones, but he wasn't taking all the 1 reps. Geno still got reps with the starters.
Okay, listen, we're going around.
I think Geno should play too, Rooster. I think he needs reps. I understand there's some concern, but if he's able to practice every day this week, and then the last couple of days he took off the compression sleeve, they're off today, so he gets another day to recover. I'd play him for a couple drives tomorrow night.
Nick, we're not. How do I say this? We're not a normal franchise right now. We're not. We're 15 years of, and I know Aaron Glenn's been now. This is his second year of it. Doesn't matter. The Jets can't bury themselves again. This franchise is so fast to burn up that you got to take it a little. Like you can't protect and Geno Smith because, like you said, who cares? I'd rather take the chance, give him reps, get him out there, because it doesn't matter anyway. He's not some first-round quarterback we're protecting the next 10 years.
Brewster, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm telling you what the Jets are thinking.
Well, I think it's wrong.
Okay,
that's all. I think it's wrong, and I'll tell you one thing.
When I'm sitting here telling you guys they want to be overly cautious with Geno, and they would rather have him practice a little bit instead of throwing him out there in a game setting where you don't control the variables in the preseason. That's not me saying, "Oh, I completely agree with the situation."
You can't control the variables anywhere, as we saw by Brees Hall. And I don't mind that Brees Hall got hurt in practice. It's football. The Jets have to think out, but they're not. I'll tell you guys one other thing, and I've been thinking about this. There is no way, and I know you'll disagree, Jake, Aaron Glenn gets fired this year. Even if he goes 0-6, because if he's 0-6 at that point, good. Let him finish the season.
I don't think I'm disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I don't think you let him finish.
Okay, good, right?
I've said that. I said
good. He's got the year.
That's what I would do if I was Woody. I would not do anything to try and cause a perception that would be BS, but the Jets won't get the benefit of the doubt. That, here's Woody firing another coach in the middle of the year. He hasn't shown patience.
The whole year.
Right. He gave his brother gave Gase the entire 2020 season. I would let Glenn ride it out. And as he said, Geno will take them to the promised land. That promised land could be the number 1 pick.
That's it. You're either going to be better with Aaron Glenn or you're going to burn with Aaron Glenn and then there's.
But that's essentially the same argument they're making for Geno as well. They're essentially saying we're going to live by Geno, we're going to die by Geno.
I know, but Geno. But the difference is, and I get Geno's a veteran. That game 1's important, Nick. I know I know you believe it too, and I don't want to hear afterwards. I just, we didn't get a lot of reps in, and we had. Come on, we got to prepare to. We got to be a little bit. Like this, if it was my friend, if I was Aaron Glenn, I'd be a little bit more aggressive in preseason. I'm not saying play him the whole game, but get him out there for the first quarter. Let Klubnik play quarters 2 and 3, and then bring in whoever you want in the fourth. We got to prepare to play football. And again, we're going to get stuck maybe with Klubnik early. And I like Cade. I like Cade as hopefully the backup. And if he's anything more than backup, it's a home run. I do think we're going to get a quarterback next year. Well, but I don't want to ruin Cade Klubnik.
But Rooster, I think the other piece to this is if you feel Klubnik can handle it, then let's see what he's got. And I'll be quite frank right now. I think he can handle it. I think he has the opportunity. I think he has the possibility to do so.
You know what? That's the only thing this week. I want to see him against ones. That's the only thing about preseason. And then you're gonna see next week. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. You're gonna be like,
But Rooster, why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. It's a bad thing that that Klubnik might not be the savior yet. I don't want to.
He's a fourth-round pick. If anyone is expecting him to be the savior, I think that is a gross miscalculation. He's not the savior. No one should expect him to be the savior.
I love Klubnik. I went to Syracuse. I saw a lot of Klubnik. When Jake knows when he was drafted, I said, this kid is good, but let's not ruin him. And how do you ruin a fourth-round pick? Is getting him in there too early on a season that probably doesn't mean that much. I do want to see him, but let him see real football, not our design practices.
But you've also made the main point here. You've also kind of made that point for the Jets. He's a fourth-round pick. If we ruin him, okay, we're drafting the future savior of the franchise next year anyway. It's a sink or swim game for a fourth-round pick. Prove you belong in this league. Otherwise, okay, you're just a developmental guy.
That's not fair because, guys, Jordan Love was a first-round pick. He sat for 2 years. The Jets.
That is what teams should do.
The Jets
Jordan
do
Love
it
was
wrong.
a first-round pick. Now, Jordan Love was a first-round pick. It's a different expectation altogether for a fourth-round pick. It just is. If you have a first-round pick, you need to make sure he's ready. You need to make sure he's got his confidence. But fourth, fifth, sixth rounders, you throw him in there, you see what he can do. That's just the reality of what the NFL is now.
All right, listen. We're all in the same thing here. Aaron Glenn's got to be better. Everything he does has to be better, or we're going to be just wasting another, year. And I know we have the draft picks, but eventually you got to win.
But if he's just bad, Rooster, you're never going to win with him. So you won't win until he's gone.
You don't.
That's just the main thing.
That's the reality. Again, he's here. This is why I was so vocal in the first place, because if he's bad again, they're not winning. The playoff drought will get to 16. And while I believe in the general manager and think there's light at the end of the tunnel, it doesn't feel good to have to go through it and talk about this team every day. And you and everyone who's a diehard fan has to watch it every week. We can't just turn it off and move on.
I go to sleep at night and I'm wondering, Woody Johnson, who, owns this football team, saw what he saw last year. I mean, he's been around Woody Johnson. He knows what a good coach is. He knows what a not so. And you see some veterans out there.
I don't think he does. I think Glenn is a great salesman. He's great. I think players like him. He's got credibility.
Players
was really good. I think
players can't stop talking about
it. I wish the players hated him. How about that? I wish they hated his guts.
They also love Saleh. That doesn't mean he's a good coach. Nothing. I think Glenn's a good assistant coach. He's a good DB's coach. I don't think he's a good DC, but we'll see. He'll get a chance this year to prove whether or not he can do it.
He is a coordinator.
But he's a great salesman. He sold Woody on, I want the job. I'm a former Jet. Woody knew him when he was a player. Woody knew him when he was a scout. Mike Tannenbaum is vouching for him. 33rd team. Mike T called Parcells. Who would you hire? He said Aaron Glenn. Woody bought into the rah-rah, change the culture. You need the best coach, the best strategist, the guy that is able to come up with game plans that give you an advantage to win games. That's the NFL.
We're also talking about it. I think Jet fans, I'm seeing the comments. Everyone's just so angry. Everyone's just so frustrated. I think we need to recognize that this is a win-win scenario for the organization.
No, it's not. No, not if they win 5 games or 6 games.
Let me finish.
You keep saying that every year. We got picks.
Either this team bottoms out and they are so terrible that they're hiring a new coach, they're kicking off and actually bringing in the guys that need to happen, and you have the opportunity to draft a quarterback, or they actually improve this year, and you're looking and saying, okay, maybe we have something.
Nick, if we bottom out, I mean, then Muji's in trouble if we bottom out, because this is now Muji's. I don't think we're bottoming out. I don't. With the schedule,
I don't think so either, but that's a possibility.
But if we listen, it's still a head coach quarterback league. You have to learn how to win. That's it. And to sit there when you had that season with Glenn and you knew it was a total disaster, and McDermott is there and Tomlin is there, and and it's not the money he could afford. He could pay all of us $50,000 times over.
McCarthy, there were other coaches too.
Why every year? Why? That's all I want to know.
I think we're a year away, baby.
Every time it's a year away, and then the only way it's a year away if this team wins enough football games. If Glenn is great, so be it. We'll all sit here, all of us, and be like, all right, if he's average and if he's below average and we're winning despite of him, get him out. Get a coach in here, a real coach, a professional coach. The biggest mistake I made was when the Knicks fired Thibodeau. After all the winning he did, I was upset because of all the winning he did. I didn't think it was worth the risk. But Leon Rose, for whatever reason, whoever pushed him, took the risk. And that's how you win a championship. Doing things that you're not supposed to do, not the things you think you should do. And the Jets always do it ass backwards. Nick, you're doing a great job. I love you. Go Jets. The Rooster is out.
The Rooster.
I just feel like he's the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land.
Maybe the number one pick, perhaps. Who knows? I love it. You got the full Rooster experience there, Nick. How do you feel?
I feel good. Look, I get all the passion. I get all the frustration. We're arguing about the hypotheticals right now. It's just we don't know enough information yet, and we won't know until week 1. If they come out and they look really good against Tennessee Titans and they beat Saleh, the tune's going to be changing for a lot of people. If they come out and stink, it is going to be a lot more angry people. It's just a matter of getting to that point.
Are the Jets ready for a must-win in week 2 if they lose week 1?
Oh boy. And I'm saying, if you beat the Tennessee Titans, there's going to be a lot of people, myself included, will sit there and say you can beat the Green Bay Packers without Micah Parsons. That's absolutely on the table. It's just it just comes down to what this coaching staff looks like. If they are improved, how much improved are they from the previous year?
Ladies and gentlemen, D. Mitty says Jets missed at GM for 10 years with consultants, set us back. I see his plan. QB room isn't his fault. No one wants to come here with all the instability. Yeah, I'm not going to blame Muji entirely for the quarterback room. They've not been in position to get their long-term answer yet. They have set themselves up to do it in 2027.
But that's the thing. If Aaron Glenn, if they bottom out this year, I don't even think Muji gets fired.
I don't think he gets fired either. I think Woody loves him. And I know for a fact, and I've been saying this because I've heard this from behind the scenes, and it was basically confirmed when Woody did that Good Morning America thing at MetLife. And a bunch of my listeners were telling me he's describing Darren Muji as not a general manager, as a general. He's the general. He's changing everything for us. He's doing it all for us. Woody gushing about how good Muji is at his job. All I needed to know.
And that's he sees Muji as the leader of the front office, the guy who's going to turn things around. And we have to remember, Muji did not pick Aaron Glenn.
Nope.
He came after. So I think no matter what happens this year, if they bottom out, Woody Johnson is going to allow Muji to pick the head coach. He's going to be allowed in the process more so than he ever was previous. We're not in a situation here to fire the GM because the quarterback situation isn't where everyone wants it to be, even though a blind mouse can see the plan of what they're trying to do. This has nothing to do with the quarterbacks they brought in. It's about building up the repertoire of the rest of the roster for the eventual guy that comes in 2027.
Candyman says big ships turn slow, or they're just into icebergs and drown. Kashmir says 16 years, no playoff drought has to end at some point. It will end. I'm very confident in that. When? I don't know. Football guy says sick Cade, draft QB, let them compete for one. I think Klubnik, in an ideal scenario, is competing with a rookie for the job next year. That'd be encouraging.
And I would like, and God forbid, let's say Cade plays well this year and actually looks semi-decent. He doesn't look overwhelmed. The moment doesn't look too bright for him, as we saw in training camp. And they look and say, okay, maybe we have something. Let's see what this looks like with a future first-round pick, whether it be the number 1 pick or whether it be just a basic first-rounder. That's the kind of competition you want to see from this team going into next year, whether it's Glenn as the head coach or another guy.
JB, the Allen Annihilator, says, whose QB room would you rather have with this offense? Cleveland with Watson, Sanders, Gabriel, Arizona with Brissett, Minshew, and Beck, or the Jets QB room? I'd take Arizona.
So we're talking about the Jets skill positions, offensive line skill guys, and then just switching the quarterback rooms?
You're swapping the quarterback room, but leaving everything else intact with the Jets.
I completely agree. Take Arizona. Brissett, average to below average starter. Minshew, good backup. Beck looked really good in the preseason. Interested to see what he looks like going forward.
D. Mitty says no one wants the job because of Woody. I don't fully subscribe to this. I've heard too many people say this, and I got into this with Alan Hahn the other day, and it wasn't even on the air. I wish we were rolling the cameras in between shows. I don't believe this to be true. When the Jets have hired coaches, very often they've gotten the top guy in the hiring cycle.
Robert Saleh
was the top guy.
Top coach on the market when he was available. We can argue about how terrible he is as a head coach now, but when he was coming up, he was the guy people wanted. Aaron Glenn, very respected, had plenty of interviews. This was not a necessarily terrible hire from the word go. A lot of people were really excited about it. The fact of the matter is you have to wait and see what the games look like, and none of those guys have been very effective. And the other thing is this. Woody has no problem opening up the paycheck to give the coach the money he wants. He will overpay and be able to bring in the guys that want to come here and want to be able to coach. So I disagree with that as well. I think, God forbid, Aaron Glenn gets fired, they will get a very good or possibly good head coach available on the open market.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I mean, like, the Raiders have gone through so many head coaches. Their job was attractive because they had the number one pick. Like, it comes down to your quarterback.
Terrible. The Cardinals' ownership is awful. Like,
right.
It's an absolute mess right now in Arizona, and they still got a very good and effective offensive guy to run their team.
I just don't believe that you wouldn't be able to get a top coach if you have this roster and you're set up to get one of the top quarterbacks. That's the bottom line. Why did Clint Kubiak leave the defending Super Bowl champs to take over the worst team in the league? Fernando Mendoza. That's it. The Raiders roster sucks. He went there for one player, Fernando Mendoza. Why did Jim Harbaugh, leave Michigan to go coach the Chargers when he could have went to any other NFL team that had an opening that hiring cycle? One reason, Justin Herbert. It is about the quarterback. Why did Ben Johnson leave the Lions after he turned down other jobs the previous hiring cycle?
The Bears were terrible.
One reason, Caleb Williams. It comes down to quarterback or have a path to a quarterback. John Harbaugh chose the Giants because he believes in Jackson Dart. That's how this works.
Yep.
So I think the Jets will be an attractive job.
They will be. Let's put it this way. I think they'll be a very attractive job because they not only have the cap space to bring in really good players. They're going to have over $80-90 million in cap space. If they bottom out, they get the number one pick. You get your pick of the litter of a deep quarterback class, and you've got the offensive line figured out. So that's one thing. You mentioned Clint Kubiak. Kubiak's got a big problem on his hands because the Raiders' offensive line isn't very good. He's got to be able to build that up accordingly. It's a big reason why Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter week one and going forward. They don't have to worry about that for the New York Jets. You've got your stalwart tackles. You've got more talent here than a lot of other coaches had when they moved over to different spots. That's a key demarcation point. They'll be able to get the guy they want because it will be a far more attractive job than people realize.
We are brought to you by Hexclad. Listen up. If you love grilling, you're going to be excited about using some Hexclad barbecue products. They sent me some. It's coming this week. I'm excited to start using it. The barbecue grill pan that you see pictured there on the screen is going to let you cook vegetables, seafood, fish kebabs, and all the other smaller foods without losing half your dinner through grill grates. Hexclad brings its hybrid technology outdoors, combining stainless steel searing power, cast iron durability, non-stick convenience, and so much more. You still get that smoky grilled flavor, great sear, but way less sticking, scraping, and cleanup afterward. And everything is built to make grilling easier, which is exactly what I'm looking for when I fire up the grill this summer. If you're grilling this summer, upgrade your setup now. Go to hexclad.com/Asman and get 10% off your order. That's hexclad.com/Asman for 10% off. Make sure to let them know the Jake Asman Show sent you. We'll get back to your calls shortly. A bunch of super chats today. Reminder, raffle is a big one. It is a signed Chad Pennington helmet. Enter before the show ends if you want a chance to qualify. Joseph Freeman, thank you. He gifted a membership, so he is in the Asmaniac raffle for one. This one is from D Might 21. That's how he wants it pronounced, so we will do our best. He says, if AG gets fired, Mooj, you should hire the next coach. He's respected in the league, and Woody should not deal with consultants. I think that is what's going to happen. Darren Mooj will hire the next coach.
And to make this point here, he's respected in the league. I think that's an understatement. A lot of people in this league really like the job that he's done and really respect him.
He just got voted 11th best GM by Louis Riddick and the other analysts who put together that future power.
That doesn't just happen. Like, that doesn't just happen. He's very respected. He's going to be able to get that coach that he wants if this thing bottoms out.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from Atlanta Jet fan. If Club looks great, what non-quarterback do the Jets pick next draft?
That's a great question. They're going to have to make a decision on Will McDonald, so a pass rusher may not be something that they should overlook. They'll probably go after a cornerback as well. Wouldn't be surprised at that. Let's think. What else? Depending on what happens with A.D. Mitchell, you may want another receiver. You could look for an interior offensive lineman, particularly at center. I think, it also depends on what happens with Inez Cooper. If Cooper develops as well as he has, and he's been really, really good, maybe you sit there and say, okay, we have a lot deeper of an offensive line. We don't need to attack the group anymore. Let's target some other positions. Maybe they go after another safety. Maybe they go linebacker. They're going to be – if Klubnik looks great, and he looks like Dak Prescott. He looks like Ben Roethlisberger. These guys that no one expected to be good, but suddenly just looked out of this world. It changes the whole complexion of this team from now on, because now you don't have to be desperate for a quarterback. You can let the draft come to you, and you can come away with some major players in a really deep class outside of just the quarterback position. This is a really good class, it looks like, for edge rushers, for corners, for receivers. I'm really interested to see what that could look like if Klubnik turns out to be this unbelievable quarterback. Not saying he will, but if that were to be the case in this hypothetical, changes the whole complexion of what the Jets need to do in the draft.
Oh, if Klubnik's the real deal, man, forget chubbing for Club. All right, I'm going to need to be seeing a doctor daily for something that's lasting way longer than just 4 hours. I'll tell you that much. Kevin writes in, an obvious path to a QB will bring a top head coach. I agree.
Always does.
It's coach quarterback league. Either have that or you don't. You can have an outlier year like the Jets did with Fitzpatrick, let's say, right? But if you want to consistently win, it's coach and quarterback in the NFL. There is no doubt about that.
And let's also, I do want to also bring up the other point to that, because what Muji has done, and it's been very, very smart, you look at the last two Super Bowl winners, Sam Darnold, Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's grossly underrated in this league now compared to all the criticism he gets. But are they the two best players on their Super Bowl teams? Of course not. Are they? You could make an argument that they're not even the top three best players on the Super Bowl team. Sam Darnold in Seattle, Jalen in Philadelphia. What the GMs there did was they made a roster so talented, so deep, that it didn't matter necessarily how unbelievable the quarterback played. He just needed to play good. And a good quarterback can win a Super Bowl in blowout fashion if the rest of the roster is off the charts. What Muji is doing is he's trying to make this roster quarterback proof, where they're still going to be good even with a young rookie developing and taking the lumps that you see from rookie quarterbacks. It's a smart decision because it surrounds the quarterback with more ammo to work with than Zach Wilson had and even Sam Darnold had when they were here.
I think that's totally fair. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Hit it.
There is no quarterback controversy here, right? Geno is the guy.
Yep.
Okay. Let's just throw that out there, because he's got to play the first month and a half of the season minimum, regardless of results.
Yep. If they're 0-4, they're not turning to another guy. It's Geno is QB1 in 2026.
Well, I would say until the playoffs are well out of reach.
You get to December, maybe that changes, but my point is,
I think before December.
If
they start 0-4, Cade Klubnik is going to be starting games by the end of October.
I would say 0-6. I would say, like, if you get into October and you're looking at 0-6 and 1-7, then Klubnik has to get a protracted.
That's where Woody steps in and says, "I'm making the decision. Darren wants to see Cade. He's playing. We're not worried about saving your job anymore, Aaron Glenn. You're already gone at that point."
But I mean, it's not even about like Woody stepping in. To me, it's like you got to get the kid some reps, and you got to see what you have, right? And since it's only a 4th-round pick, at that point, he's been in the system for a little bit. He's been in practice. He's watched another guy play a little bit. You can feel a little bit better about seeing, kind of throwing him to the wolves. But you wouldn't start him in September. You'd want to get well into October before that happened. But at that point, like, you had nothing to lose by putting Klubnik. Like, if you would be able to get both a pretty good view into what Klubnik can do, and also it wouldn't seem like he was being rushed to me. It's kind of a nice balance. But like, I think Geno's going to be good enough to play into November, December. Now, whether it's going to be good enough to save Aaron Glenn's job, that's a wildly different thing. Because 7 wins, depending on how we get there, it might not be enough. Stop me when I'm wrong.
I don't necessarily disagree with anything that you're saying here. We're talking about at one point when does the season bottom out? Does it bottom out in October? Does it bottom out in December? It's the wait and see game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, if they're not playing competitive games in like the second half of November, this season is a failure. And it shows what I've been saying all along about Aaron Glenn, and that he never should have been brought back, because last year the writing was on the wall that this guy was in well over his head. That's all I had. Tired of talking about Aaron Glenn. People are tired of hearing me say it. I hate him. I can't believe I hate him. I can't believe I got here, but here I am. Thank you.
Kyle, hang in there. He's got superpowers.
You have superpowers! You gotta fly over there!
Now for something completely different. Beastbreaker writes in, went and got chicken. 59 cents a pound. Got 3 pounds, watermelon, and Polish sausage.
Awesome, Beast. Congratulations, man.
You excited to meet Beast when you stop by the tailgate on October 25th?
October 25th?
Jets Dolphins, baby.
I may be able to stop by. We'll see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to your calls. Joining us right now is a man who puts the sexy in lawn care.
Well, folks, this looks brand new to me. Look at that grass. This is very, very optimistic and very, very sexual. If you want answers, you get answers, all right? So just remember, if you need anything, you contact Storm Lawn Care. I am the man that can do it all.
Part that I don't understand. Guys don't want to listen to facts and reason, because it's like you're putting me under enough stress with the temperament and the rage and the anger, and then it's like I'm having to try and understand you guys, because it's like, oh well, we can't do anything. Oh well, don't bullshit me. I have dealt with 2 other companies before you guys. I know what the problem is with you guys. You don't listen. You don't think. You want to think the American people are the second minority. Enough of the bullshit. For 6 years, I have been trying to get my doctor back, and what have I had to do to get my doctor back? To get the blood work that I need, and yet you guys are still pushing my button, and it's really annoying, and it's very frustrating. I'd like to see my doctors, and it would be nice, but no, it's always money, 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 money. Yeah, another way to get fisted in the ass because you guys don't think.
How's it going, Beast?
Whoa, I don't know. Hey, I've been to hell and back, young lady. I know what it feels like to be on the other side. So let me give you. Yeah, I have. Look. You don't know my situation right now. You don't know the crap I've gone through for 6 years. Yeah, we understand that. You know what? I'm trying to I'm trying to make you understand reality, but up to the point where I've lost my temper already enough this year. This is so crazy because I'm having to jump through the hoops and try to play nice. Well, as Stone Cold Steve Austin once said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You want to play rough with me? Two can play that game. I am tired of the games. I've been trying to get my doctors back for 6 years. It's been nothing but a fight. It's been a fight, and I'm sick of it. It's made me mad, and then to make matters worse, you keep saying, "Oh, well, we'll give you these doctor," and then say what?
Nick, any context to get a hold of Beast Doctor?
I got nothing, man.
The real issue is
we'll check back in with the Beast.
Tubby, can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Ron L is next. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Nick. Just a few points here. Jake, you are right. You know how I feel about Glenn with being a salesman and stuff. It's what's amazing is I'm pulling over. Can you imagine the deals Woody's been, across the table from people trying to sell him stuff and having $1 billion company, and this guy comes in, gives him the rah-rah speech, like you said. I think he buys into that whole old school rah-rah thing.
He does.
He ends up.
Remember last year when Woody spoke at the meetings in the middle of the year and he trashed Fields? Before that, he's like, "Wouldn't you want to play for Aaron Glenn?" Like the way he speaks, the way he works. Woody got totally hoodwinked by a guy he thought was this Dan Campbell-like culture changer. When let's call it for what it is. Aaron Glenn was a mediocre defensive coordinator, and if he didn't play for the Jets 30 years ago, every fan would want him fired after last year. Most still did, and the ones who are holding on to hope is because he played for the Jets. That's the only reason.
I think Woody walked out of that interview, the meeting, whatever it was, threw a couple trash cans over, flipped them over, got back on the phone and called Glenn up and hired him. I think he totally bought into that. And as far as Woody, when he trashed, say if we could only complete a forward pass, I never had a problem with that. I know they don't like the owner getting involved. He just said the truth. What we were watching was historically the worst football in history. Imagine owning the team and you hired the coach and the GM that brought him in, and it looked like that. And all he was doing was throwing it. Then supposedly, Fields went home and cried on his floor in his closet or something. Not making fun of it, but I'm just saying he's a football player that was making $30 million guaranteed over 2 years to go out there, and it looked like that. And by the way, I think last year. Glenn dealt with Fields in the preseason somewhat like this. He had a few series. Nobody needed more work than him, especially coming into a whole new team, whole new coordinator, kind of like what's going on right now with Geno Smith. I mean, he needs work. And Glenn's treating it like like I said the other day, like he's got Joe Montana here. Oh, we don't want to get him hurt. He needs to get out there no matter what. Him and Klubnik better play two halves, this half and the half in the last game, because he needs work and he's going to get in there. I really feel that. So I really hope that Glenn can't take this coach handbook and see what everybody else is doing, because this situation is nothing like any other in the NFL right now. He has to treat it like that. And another thing, I know I'm going off here, but the Sadiq injury, I heard the other day on your show with Collective with Samini, Jake. By the way, you are everywhere. When my YouTube opens up, you got like 1,000 little pictures coming up. It's really fun. Every time I look, I'm like, did I miss that one? I strum through them and I click on it. Oh, I heard that one.
Check the live tab, because we post segments from the 2 shows a day, which has helped bring in an audience that only consumes the stuff in segments or the shorts. I brought in a new audience as well. Those are 60 seconds, quick takes on whatever we talked about that day.
It's awesome. But the other day, when Samini, you were talking to him about, he brought up Sadiq, and he said that he talked to an Oregon coach who said about this kid being a great player. He said, but he's always hurt. And that scares me, because to me, when you draft a player, I mean, over 50%, 80% of the importance of that player is, does he get hurt a lot? And because how that translates into the NFL, it doesn't. And that guy was hurt a lot then, and everybody was still so crazy about him, even with the famous Sadiq Adam
He
Schilling
played
thing.
through it, though, to defend Sadiq
Right.
a little bit here. And, like, just to clarify, Ron, Samini spoke with a scout from a rival team who was friends with someone on the Oregon staff who told him that. It wasn't Samini talking to an Oregon coach.
Okay, that scares me. As long as, I'm giving the kid a shot. So I'm just looking at all these things that I'm hoping aren't going to, come into play here. So I hope that kid suits up. I hope he's the best tight end we ever had. And I just hope that a lot of this stuff just, moves along. Klubnik ends up being good, and we get our quarterback next year.
Amen. Good call, Ron.
Thanks a lot. And Nick, nice hearing you. I'm the one who said the word salad thing. You had a mini word salad today with the can't lose, must win thing. And it's exact same thing, yet a little different. I think the can't lose thing means you can lose, but you just can't get crushed and look really bad doing it, probably. But they both do mean the same ultimately.
I'm not disagreeing on that one.
All right. Well, thanks a
I
lot.
just don't like can't win, must win on a week 1 game.
Right. I understand. But we do have to win that game, though. They have to win this game. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Ron,
right, guys.
Good call.
Good morning.
Nick, you got time for one last call?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Who knows where this guy's going to take the conversation next?
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
I gotta tell you, my production at work probably drops off 25 to 33%, a quarter to a third during football season, and I just can't. I can't keep myself away from it.
Now imagine if this team was ever good,
right? Like the team is the worst team in football.
Fired like 3 weeks in.
I can't. I was gonna call in, and then Kyle said something that just hit me. I felt it. He's like, I can't believe I hate Aaron Glenn. I think he's a few years older than me, but if you're my age, I'll be 43 in 2 weeks. Him and Otis Smith, you grew up on that team. Aaron Glenn was probably your favorite player. Yeah, I'm with him. I can't believe I hate Aaron Glenn. I loved Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn and Otis Smith. Those were the corners, baby. That was the team you fell in love with, the 98 team. Aaron Glenn, if you're my age, was your favorite player. I'm going to echo that sentiment. I can't believe I hate Aaron Glenn. I can't believe it.
I don't think anyone should hate him. He's just not a good NFL
I don't
coach.
hate him as a person. I don't want him here. I don't want bad things to happen to him, but I don't want him to be the coach of my football team. I don't want him here anymore. Is that better?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's here though, so he's gonna get a chance.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna relitigate this. He's here for the year, so I wish him the best. Speaking of here, Cade Klubnik is here. Cade taking reps with the first team, I think answers the question as to are we going to bring a veteran in, an Andy Dalton type, which I'm against. I would say if Cade is taking reps with the one, then he's your two. Then you're planning on him potentially having to play with the ones. Why else would you not bring anyone else in at this late stage?
Because there's no one really on the open market right now that you can sit there and say you want him to be, that he can be the backup. If they're bringing in, this is what I've been talking about. If they're bringing in a backup, it's not going to be right now. It's going to be when the waiver wire picks up with Dalton and Rudolph or whoever ends up being the guys that get fired get cut in these QB2 battles across the league. It's not going to happen right now. The question is, does Cade Klubnik show enough in camp and in these preseason games to sit there and say, I am the QB2. You should be able to trust when I come on the field, and that's it. If he doesn't, then they will bring in a veteran guy. If he does, then they're going to sit there and say, no, let's see what we have if something happens to Geno Smith.
And you guys watch practice. I don't. I did watch Cade a lot. I watched him since high school. I watched him since his junior year of high school. I know a little bit about Cade Klubnik. I'm a huge fan. I think bare bones minimum, he's a high-end 2 that will be in the league for a long time, and I think he could be more than that, right? But you don't want to rush him into it. I do agree with what Rooster was saying, but at the same time, he was born to do this. He has the brains. to be a backup quarterback. Like, he's not going to suck, and I want people to understand that. Like, he's not going to be Bryce Petty. He's not going to suck.
And you see it in practice. There is no overwhelming thing of, man, this guy really struggling. Oh, he's not taking this well. He looks competent. Every practice, he looks competent. I like what he does in the pocket. He doesn't get antsy. He doesn't have happy feet. He's always set with his delivery. He's very accurate, and I think the arm strength's a lot better than people kind of expected coming from Clemson, because that was his big problem over the last few years. He looks competent. The question is, how competent is that with the ones and with against other starters? There's a lot of different intangibles that still have to be figured out that we just won't know yet. It's just a matter of we're not going to see that yet. And it's a wait-and-see game for that kind of player and for a fourth-round pick in general.
Right, and there's not a ton of pressure on him unless they do start him if Geno goes down. Like,
yeah, but what's the pressure then? But that's the thing. Like, I don't think there's any pressure whatsoever. You're not expected to be the guy.
No, there's no pressure on the organization, but there's pressure on him because if he plays well, he's your starting quarterback. If he's not, you're drafting a quarterback, right? So there's pressure on him as to prove that he can be the long-term quarterback for the Jets, right? Because if he goes out and plays well, maybe you reconsider drafting a quarterback. If he goes out and is kind of you're absolutely going to draft a quarterback, right? So there's pressure on him to kind of establish himself as the Jets quarterback.
I wouldn't, I get it. Pressure on a fourth-round pick, it's hard for me to say, man, you got to show something right now because it's all on you. The expectations will be.
And you're going to use the other 5 million fourth-round picks that didn't work out, right? But Dak Prescott got that opportunity. Fourth-round pick.
Sure.
Got hurt.
Cousins, the same thing. History shows that these guys with a lot of college football experience can come in and actually play pretty well in the National Football League. We don't know if Cade's one of those guys yet.
The last thing I wanted to touch on was his Beast call. Beast is talking to his doctor like that?
I don't know who he was talking to.
Okay. That was interesting because he was really crashing. And I get, like, trying to get information. Customer service in general in this country is deplorable.
He demands someone speaking American.
Didn't, like, your mother ever teach you get more with honey than you do with vinegar? Like, I don't know what information he's trying to get. He's probably not going to get it speaking like that. Like, if you sweetened up your voice a little bit, you might get what you're looking for. I get it. Like, I like when he was on the phone with the USPS trying to get a package. It's like,
he wanted someone that speaks American.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I don't think that's going to work. And Beast, just a little point of reference. You're a man. Nobody cares, right?
Because
Nobody
Gary,
cares
are you seriously on drugs? Gary, did you admit during this conversation and I missed it that you're on drugs?
I am not on drugs. I live a sober life.
Well, I think there's really only one thing we could do here to try and get to the bottom of this is we hear from the man himself.
If you just sweetened up I get how frustrating it is. I get it. I deal with customer service. It sucks across the board. Sweeten up your voice a little bit. They might be more likely to work.
Whoa! Time out a minute. Time out. Back up the train 1 minute. Back up the train.
Choo-choo.
You understand what I'm having to go through right now? I'm having to fight these assholes. I've been fighting these assholes for 6 years, and what have they been giving me? A bunch of BS that makes.
Hey, wait a second. Nick, I'll let you run. I can see that you can't handle this anymore, and I don't want to lose you forever. So I'll get to the bottom of what's going on with Beast, and I'll report back to you.
God bless you. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria, our guest, go read his work at SI. All right, now back to today's main event. Beast, Gary discussing whatever went down with Beast Doctor.
For 6 years, I've been trying to get my regular doctors back, and it's been very tough for me. See, you try dealing with the state of Illinois' bad policies, bad decisions, bad spending, and then giving you bad doctors that don't know shit from their asshole all the way up to the top of their brain.
I don't really get the analogy, but I get your sentiment, and I think the sentiment is you're unhappy.
I am tired. I am
with
tired.
the service.
They're not
And
giving me good
I
doctors.
hear you. Everyone is incompetent. It's managed decline. Customer service is basically useless in this country. Like across the board. I understand.
Yeah.
If you
Customer
want
service
to
isn't
get
real.
something out of people, you might want to sweet talk them a little bit.
We've tried that already. See, you've ever heard of the old saying, playtime's over. It's either you better get your shit straightened out or get your balls reevaluated, or if you can't hack or take this job seriously, then get the hell out of here and give it to somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, did you get what you wanted? Did you get what you needed out of it?
Oh, no, I'm not done yet.
So no, right? So
you've heard
I'm
the
not
old
trying
saying,
to like,
the
you're free to
war
proceed,
has
but
just
you're not going to
begun.
get what you
The
want talking to
war
people
has
like
just
that.
begun.
You're not going to get what you want.
Oh, I will fight. I will fight. I don't bend over. I don't bend over backwards. I don't bend over for anybody. I don't kiss anybody's ass. You know why? Because they just want airtime. You know why? Because they think they're so special. Special my ass. The only thing that's special about them is when they're trying to take up hog time and grow purple hair and green weirdo shit. Like putting nose rings to their hair or a nose ring up their asshole.
Did the lady on the phone have purple hair and a nose ring? I'm just out of curiosity.
No,
How did you know?
No, that's called creative. See, that's called some people have a thinking mind. See, we don't know what people are today because the world is weird. Since 2021, since the COVID era, look what we've had since then. We've had a very strange world where there's been brawls, fighting, rage, blood, carnage. Oh, let's see. You don't think there's plenty more to go around? You got morons farting on chicken. You got morons putting condoms in chicken. What the hell are you going to come up with next?
What are you talking about? Condoms
Did you ever read the papers?
I try not to. I try to avoid all papers. I try to avoid all papers. Yeah. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Some piece of shit in where Alabama farted on the chicken, lost his job. Some asshole in Louisiana and a Popeye.
Can you hear me?
I have superpowers.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby.
Good job.
Some asshole in Louisiana put a condom in the chicken. I even said, what the hell are you thinking? We got sickos in this world today that are so mismanaged by life because their brains are so, look at that, yeah!
Don't let go of the rope.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby.
Good job.
Yeah,
you can go to hell with him too.
Two things real quick. Just a word to the wise. If you want people to do what you want them to do, you might want to talk a little kinder to them. You might want to sweeten up your voice a little bit, put a little sugar in your voice, a little bit, right? And the other thing is, you're a man. Nobody cares what you want. Nobody cares what you've been through. Nobody cares about you. The best thing about being a man is nobody caars about you. That's the best thing. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you've been through the last 6 years. They don't care.
Boy, you know what I've said before, and I'll say it again. This country's being run by what? Morons, simpleton, schmucks, bumpkins, dumb.
Tubby, can you hear me?
I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to tell him.
Kick to the schnozzles.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell him. It's better this way. That's really all I got. Did I handle that well, Jake? Did I talk him down? I get his sentiment too. Like, we've all dealt with customer service. It's a disaster. It's mad. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think you spoke really good beast there.
All right. My favorite part was when he muted himself and had no idea that he was muted. That was my favorite part of that.
By the way, I would like to reveal a brand new game, courtesy of Thunderlips. Here is your Beast Bingo card that we now can keep track of going forward. Everyone take a screenshot of this so you can play along. We'll start from left to right. We'll go through each column here. Go to a next caller. Says he just took a crap. Doesn't answer a direct question. Impersonates a wrestler. Says he took a crap again. Column number 2. Complains of back pain. Argues with Mad Max. Quotes obscure 80s movie. Jumps on his bed. Talks over the caller. Now go back to Jake. Curses. Free space. I'm a man's man. Call someone buddy. Next caller says tampon. Mentions his belts. Pretends to be sleeping. Brings up something unrelated. Complains of headaches. Doesn't say thank you. Does a fake promotion for a product. Discusses going to the bathroom. Mentions how busy he is. Did we miss anything?
This is pretty good. This is well put together. These are all Beast Breaker isms. These are all things that he typically says. This is Beast Breaker in a nutshell, for sure.
Well, if anyone has any suggestions for what we missed, please write it in. And when Thunder Lips makes an updated bingo board, we will be sure to share that with the community. Gary, excellent job by you today.
All right, excellent job out of you, Jacob. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary 3D Boxing with us there. Hey, there's something I want to mention. So one of our great listeners, his name is Jack. He's a school teacher. I've met Jack a number of times. He's been kind enough to actually donate season tickets of his to the Jets for select games to share with fellow Asmaniacs, including the preseason game this past Friday. So he's a school teacher, and he's trying to raise some money because his school, they had their funding cut, which is ridiculous. So Jack teaches children grades 6 through 8, PSMS 42 in Vernon. So I'm going to share the link right now. They're trying to raise $300 for supplies. So I'm definitely going to make a donation. And if anyone has the means to do so, wants to support a fellow Asmaniac, please do so. I'll put the link in the description as well for those not watching live or aren't checking the live chat here. I'll show you guys the website as well so you all can see. Make sure you click on the right link. I don't exactly know where our taxes are going to. They're slashing funding here, but this is what we do in this community. We always help, especially when it's for something like this. So the blurb from Jack, a.k.a. Mr. Angelo. I love my students because each one brings unique strengths, ideas, personalities, and experiences to our classroom. I enjoy watching them grow in confidence, challenge themselves, and discover that they are capable of more than sometimes they realize. Providing the right resources helps create an environment where every student can learn, participate, and succeed. Calculators will support students as they work through complex mathematical problems, allowing them to focus on understanding concepts and applying strategies. Loose leaf paper will give students space to show their work, practice skills, and organize their thinking. Graphic chart paper will help students visualize information, create graphs, identify patterns, and better understand mathematical relationships. Dry erase markers will encourage active participation through hands-on practice, collaboration, and quick problem-solving activities. These supplies will help my students learn with confidence. So, again, donations to this with the link I posted. You could support Asmaniac Jack, school teacher, great dude, big Islander fan for all my fellow Jet Islander fans out there. Huge Jets fan, been watching the show for years. So if you guys have the means to do so, please donate for a very good cause here. Again, I'll put the link in the description, and I posted it in the live chat for those of you to take a look for yourself. All right. We're just about done here. I am going to check in on Beast one more time before we get out of here because him and Gary were talking about this medical situation. Maybe there's an update. Maybe Beast was able to track down his doctor. Let's get the answer to all these questions we still have.
String in the cheese. What's this face tell you? I've been to hell. If you think 2021 was nuts, you better think again because I almost once got signed on everybody almost many years ago. I'm not gonna quit. I ain't gonna back down. I'm gonna get my doctor back. I know I ain't playing games. You want to play games? You want me to sound like Scarface and go? How would you like a first-class trip to the resurrection? Fucking punk son of a bitch. So long, Mel. Have a good day.
What are your thoughts on Beast Bingo? Do we miss anything?
we're gonna start this shit again.
It's Beast Bingo. It's literally a game named after you.
Boy, do I want to sound like James Hetfield today from Some Kind of Monster and just go off on Lars and go, yo, you're talking shit really matters. Yo, you stand here and picking at me all night like you got something better to think about. What a life. What a life.
Are you going to complain about how busy you are?
I'd like to have I'd like to have a happy life, but unfortunately can't do that anymore. Why?
You love to complain every day. How about you try and go
I
more than
will
an hour
fight.
without complaining?
I will fight.
You talk about being a man's man, always fighting, but all you do is call and complain.
I don't like playing games in this world that we live in today. Let me give you a little history lesson. See, the red states are doing better. People like us in the blue states are getting our asses knocked down.
You should move to a red state then.
Well, that's already in the works.
Is it?
Because
Tell
why?
us more.
Oh, don't worry. Time will come when the time is right. And have a little punch action.
Hey, Ralphie wants to know if he could be your friend. So you could say hello to my little friend like Al Pacino and Scarface every time he calls in.
You mean you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah.
Speaking of friends.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby. Can you hear me?
Stick a tampon up your ass, monkey nuts. Read that football.
Oh my God! Get out of here, Max.
Can
Leave.
you hear me?
Leave.
Don't let go of the rope.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby.
Good job.
I am Nightbot.
Oh my God.
All right. We've lost Beast to the Nightbot again. Today's closer is on the line, but a couple super chats, and then we will get to the closer. SI James says 7-on-7 as Maniac Flag football game soon. LOL. We definitely have to do that this year. We've talked about it. We need to fully plan it, give people advance notice, and do something like that. D. Mitt checking in. I forget how you said you wanted me to say your name, but it's very confusing. D. Might, I think it was. D. Might. We'll go D. Might. Can you imagine how running the team and having his kids trash talk players mad in numbers? Who wants to play for that guy if money's equal? Never mind the taxes you pay in New York versus Florida, Texas, where they've gotten top candidates before. I don't think this is a problem for the Jets. I understand Woody's a bad owner, but there's plenty of bad owners in the NFL. There's plenty of them. It comes down to, do you have a path to a quarterback? That's how you get a top coach. And money talks, and Woody's never been cheap. Ladies and gentlemen, today's closer is we have Curly Norman. Hello, Curly.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
You're coming to Nashville, right?
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
You know, I don't know how you deal with StreamYard. That thing fucking sucks.
Oh, it's brutal.
Just wanted to say what's up. I haven't called in a bit. Beast's medical woes. I think there's a saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And every time I see him, I ride this bike harder. So I want to thank you for that.
My pleasure.
But yeah, don't really have much to say. I know you said you're wrapping up, but see you guys in Nashville. We can all commiserate or celebrate, I guess. I don't know. But, it'll be a fun time either way.
Are you excited to watch Aaron Glenn in person?
I saw him in person in Tampa. I saw him in person in New Orleans. And no, I can't say I am.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. But hopefully he proves us wrong,
Hey, let's hope. Don't let go of the rope, all right?
That's right. And Beast, I think we're like the same age. You know, you can do it. You could do it. Just get, start with a walk every day. Then work, maybe start, working out and stuff. And I don't know. Just a thought.
Would you like to be his health coach?
I don't know if I have the mental capacity for that, but I could try.
All right. We'll keep that in mind, Curly. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I just want to say, if the Jets were half as entertaining as the show, we'd be in business, baby.
Oh, yeah. We'd be a dynasty.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Curly Norman.
Is it true your toys come to life when you go to sleep?
Hey, who's this right here? And he tells it like it is.
Kill me! Please! Kill me!
Beast, your thoughts on Curly being your health coach?
I got my own people.
Who are these people?
I got people from McNeil that can get me what I need, and I can see if I can talk to these morons again and sit them down, because I'm not playing these games anymore. Playtime is over, and it's time for you to get serious, or in the words of Aaron Glenn, you can get the out.
Now, as far as your health, I don't think your coaches are doing a great job if you've got people.
Yeah, well,
you're in pain every day.
You're
gaining weight. You said it yourself.
Oh, gaining weight, my dead ass.
You're losing weight?
I'm actually looking good. I'm actually getting buff. It's because of all the years of the. Well, let's see. How many years did I drink? Plenty. I drank more than anything. I've had a lot of beer. I used to buy the cheap shit. Yeah, and I'm talking the real cheap shit. Bush, used to drink that. Used to love Budweiser. Used to love Michelob. Used to like Miller Low Life. Oh, let's see. Old Style, Keystone, Special X. And then moved on to Krapikin. George Killian's Irish Red, which was very delicious, by the way. Warsteiner, Beck's, Okochim Zivia, Vodka, Zaguli, even Indio, Mordelio, Niagara Mordelio, Bohemia, and the real Corona, not that fake one.
I am Nightbot.
Oh my god.
Not that crappy shit. You want the real Corona, you go to Mexico and get it. The big brown bottle. I want nothing to do with him. I'm gonna slice his brains in half and turn him into an inside-out chicken.
Tubby, can you hear me?
Go suck Max right through his asshole.
Kick to the schnozzles.
I'm glad.
I am Nightbot.
Oh my god.
Go get drunk and go play with yourself while you're drunk, you idiot.
Good job.
Oh. This is why you don't drink, folks. Drinking leads to a lot of things. Heavy stress, heavy fire.
Oh my god.
And especially that piece of shit who I love to gift a one-winged angel to, just like Kenny Omega will do at All in London.
Oh my god, look what you done, Beast. You pretended you had 35 world belts. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut you off and cast you out with the sodomites. So Tom in here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train.
Oh. Can
you hear me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it and go back to reality.
Hang in there, Beast. We'll take down the Nightbot and Max together. We're sponsored by PrizePicks. Today I want to highlight Garrett Wilson's receiving touchdown number. I'm going more on this. This is one of the ones I'm the most confident in. Garrett had 4 last year and barely played, and Fields throwing to him. I think regardless, whether it's Geno or Klubnik, Garrett's going to get the ball. He will score multiple touchdowns. He'll have at least 5. I'm confident in this. I'm going more on Garrett Wilson receiving touchdowns here. That's my prize pick play of the day. Download the app and make your own picks. Use the code HMA, play your first $5, and you'll get $150 in lineups if you win. A week from today, we're in Las Vegas. So reminder, we're going to have some great guests join us live from Vegas next week at Circa's Media Row. broadcasting our show for the 4th straight year from contest weekend. We'll be signing up for the Circa Survivor. 3 contests, multiple ways to win. Entries start at $1,000. Circasports.com for all the information you need to be part of this thing, baby. Let's go. 30 million in guaranteed prizes. Crazy. Can't wait to be out at Circa in a week. All right. That does it for me. I want to thank all of you who tuned in. I do want to read this comment from Craig because it's very funny. He goes, just had someone come in my shop and ask, what are you listening to? I said, one of the best Jet podcasts. It's funny. If you listen to the first hour of the show, you're going to get the Jet talk. And then after that, who knows? That's what 15 years of losing does to a team. On that note, you guys are the best. Thanks for watching. We're back this afternoon. Ty Butler's going to join me from ESPN New York. Talk Jets with him. He will be on at 4 p.m. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up with Ty. You guys are the absolute greatest. Thank you for watching. And I'm not leaving you empty-handed. I'm going to play you something that is guaranteed to make you laugh. Sit back and enjoy what we like to call around here the greatest beast moments. Go Jets.
What in the hell is this?
Have some candy.
Beast, you know it's a joke, right?
Beast, I'll eat it with you.
Throw the bag of dicks out the window.
Throw the bag of dicks.
Get back to work. Come on. Free those dicks. Let them fly.
Oh, my God.
Sagajoia.
You let that dick fly. You feel better? Ooh. Is that the first time your hand was on a bunch of dicks?
Oh, no. I'm going to go have a sausage sandwich and enjoy the rest of my day.
For the last 10 days, Beast has not had hot water.
Tools in hand. Let's go, Beast. What's the problem? Talk to me.
The pipes where the water was at, so that guy took it out of there. Boy, was it a bitch. It smells like somebody's ass. That is disgusting. I'll take this rod, lucky I don't brand it, and shove it all up your asses. I will talk later.
Use it as a raffle prize?
You might, right? That might be a good idea, you know? Have them send it to you and bring it to Ocean, too.
Thank you, Loopy. You're welcomed here to my community. I'm going to rip that guy's throat out and choke slam him straight to hell. And you can take that picture and shove it up your freaking ass.
Mad Max is inside the Beast Breaker bathtub right now. Dana says that tub has hantavirus. So, Beast, you now have full hot water, correct?
See.
Lou B spent $2,500 out of his own pocket to make this happen. Well, why don't you say thank you to Lou B?
If I do intend to get married, he is my first inductee to being on my wedding list.
If you want to know what these plumbers saw yesterday, here's a look.
I could not watch the whole game.
Is it true you didn't watch any of the game?
Running up and down the damn stairs, doing laundry, and also doing the art.
You claim to be a huge Jet fan. You're doing laundry during the game? You know you called it to a football show, right?
We know that.
But you didn't watch the football game. Tell us what happened on the Jets' first drive on 3rd down, the big play that happened there.
Yo, I had blood work done 72 hours ago. You don't
Yeah,
think
but
I don't
24 hours ago.
I got a fucking problem. He did very well. He jumped it. He did a few plays here and there.
What was your favorite catch he made today?
Hey, man, nice little grab. Not too bad.
Hey, Beast, can I tell you something very important?
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson didn't play, you fat bastard. Don't call into a Jet show talking about Garrett Wilson when he didn't play in the game today. He was out. You didn't watch the game.
I'm on the phone trying to get a hold of USPS. They lost some of my mail.
Sorry, I did not get that. How would you rate the ease of use of the automated system?
I'm going to say 1 because lately you've been very slow, lazy, laxative. It's because everything is, AI. There's going to be some consequences. Do the job, or if you can't do your job, get out. Even when you try to do a background on your computer, you can't even do that anymore.
Mr. Jason, can you just calm down for 1 second, please?
I don't like when people bullshit me. I'm on the air right now. Yeah, I'm on the air. Jesus.
Thick provolone and the mozzarella. They have it shredded over.
I'm on the air. You're being annoying.
You're always on the air, Jay.
Is he looking for the condiments on his?
Who was that, Beast?
Don't worry about it. I got a headache right now from yelling.
They were like, you're always on the air.
Fuck you, Nightbot, you piece of shit.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby. Can you hear me?
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.